What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It is Dr. Jamar Montgomery of drjamarmontgomery.com, and I am here with another episode of my political analysis. This has been one of the most exciting weeks in politics yet. One of the most exciting weeks in politics yet. Um, Former president was there was an assassination attempt on a former president. President Biden is being pressured to step down, and the RNC just concluded. The Republican National Convention just concluded. There's been a whole lot of interesting things, um, that I want to talk about. And I think I'm going to have to do like multiple videos on it, because this video I'm going to be talking about in this broadcast, in this stream, I'm going to be talking about the RNC's pivot to South Asia. We're going to be talking about the RNC, the Republican National Convention, and their pivot to South Asia. For those of you that may not know, that the RNC, the Republican National Convention, was just held in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it was a packed house. I got to hear some of the speeches. I got to hear J.D. Vance's speech, who is the vice president nominee, the vice presidential candidate for the Republican Party. So there's going to be a Trump-Vance ticket. And I got to hear one of the pastors speak, and I got to hear Donald Trump speak, and that was a very touching speech. Trump's speech was very touching, and people were like, "Well, how could you call his speech touching?" Because it was touching. The man almost died, and I believe that he knew that he came within inches of death, right? Less than an inch, a quarter of an inch of death, right? And so now he's being reflective and having an appreciation for life, which is good. So hearing all the different speeches was good, because I got to get a perspective of where the Democratic Party is going. Where the Republican Party is going. And it's very interesting, because you got to watch these things. Because if you're not paying attention, and if you don't understand politics, you won't understand all the different workings that were going on there. So one of the things that was very interesting to me was there was a Sikh prayer that was done. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Sikhs were the warrior class of India. And they were kind of I want to say, religious minority in India. And it was interesting because, the Republicans are known for being Christians and being evangelicals and focusing on Christian and only having Jesus Christ. And for them, the Republican Party, to open up with a Sikh prayer, was very interesting, because that is very, very, very unlike the Republican Party and conservatives in general. To have anything other than Jesus Christ up on the stage is very, very interesting. Oh, in fact, they had the Teamsters, which was something that hadn't been done ever. So you had the RNC open up with a Sikh prayer, with an Indian prayer, and then the Teamsters are up there talking, which it's been crazy. Like I said, it's been crazy. So the reason why the Teamsters was so important, and why that was so like mind-blowing, was because usually, the Teamsters are the unions, and the Republicans usually represent businesses and wealthy and rich people. And so oftentimes businesses and wealthy people are against unions. And so to have the leader of one of the largest unions in America, speaking at the Republican National Convention, just showed how the Republican Party now is finally playing chess. They are playing the game to win. Uh, they have realized that it is not about ideology, but it is about policies and being able to speak to the needs of all different kinds of people. Hell, they had Amber Rose. They had Amber Rose up there speaking. The slut walk, the slut walker. They had the slut walker up there giving an address at the RNC, which once again, so the RNC is reaching out to all these different demographics. They're reaching out to union slash labor. They're reaching out to South Asians or people or that have Indian descent from the continent of India, from the continent of India, or Asia, continent of Asia, the country of India, right? They're appealing. They're appealing to young women who are influenced by influencers, right? There are all these different people. There are all these different people. Pogus said, but the Democrats do the same. They absolutely do. The thing about it is that it seems as if the Republicans are going about it in a very measured and aware way. What do I mean by that? It doesn't seem like they're pandering. It seems like true inclusivity, which is something else that's crazy because everybody talks about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the Republicans particularly have been against DEI or the principles of equity and inclusion. The problem is, well, I'll say this, is they're against it for equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion's sake. They're against DEI for DEI's sake. But if it means that they can benefit off of it, they're all for it, which brings me to this broadcast about the RNC's pivot to South Asia, or the RNC's pivot to India. Never would I have thought that you would have someone like J.D. Vance become the vice president. And not that J.D. Vance is different, but the fact that J.D. Vance has an Indian wife, right? So let's go back. The RNC opens up with an Indian prayer, a Sikh prayer. It opens up with a Sikh prayer. So already paying homage to those that come from India and those that are particularly belong to the Sikh people, right? And Sikh is Sikh, that belongs to that demographic. Already paying homage, which I said, that's interesting. Next, they pick someone like J.D. Vance. And on the surface, it looks like, he's just like any other white guy, except he's married to an Indian woman, a South Asian woman. And I'm like, that says something. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you... I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's a reason for this. There's a reason that you open up with a Sikh prayer. There's a reason why you choose a vice presidential candidate with an Indian wife. And there's a reason why you choose someone like J.D. Vance. And I'm going to get into those reasons right now. I'm going to break it down for y'all in such a smooth and easy to understand way. All right. J.D. Vance is the anti-Kamala Harris. J.D. Vance is the anti-Kamala Harris. What do I mean by that? J.D. Vance is how the Republican Party shows that they are inclusive without alienating their base. It's like, hey, we got somebody that you're familiar with, an Ohio senator, young, energetic, dynamic politician who came up from a parent on drug addiction and raised by their grandparents who made something of himself, who joined the military and made something of himself, who went to law school and married an Indian woman. The Republicans are like, how do we appeal to Indians and South Asians without scaring off their base that has racist tendencies, right? In Mimo said they are reaching out to smart Democrats that see what is right in front of our face, right? So it's like, well, yeah, Doc, but what about why? What does Indians have to do with it, right? What is this? What does Indians have to do about it? Well, let's look at it this way. Indians are 79% of Indians that are here in the United States are college graduates compared to the national average of 34%. I'll say that again. Indians are twice as college educated as the average American. 34% of Americans are college educated, whereas 79% of Indians are college educated. What does college usually mean? College usually, or is supposed to mean, that you get into high-paying jobs. Well, let's get into it. What career fields do Indians usually go into? They usually go into computer science, right? Just look at any AI company. Look at any tech company. If you look at Microsoft, the CEO of Microsoft, I don't want to mess his name up, but he's Indian. Look at the folks in Google. If you look at any tech company, I will guarantee you that you will see a lot of Indians or South Asians. So they go into computer science, financial management, and medicine, right? Well, computer science, that tech money, those are high paying jobs. That's a high paying industry, high paying field. What about financial management? It's the money. High paying. Medicine, high paying. So not only do we have an educated demographic, but we also have a demographic that is highly educated and highly paid. Well, let's go into the paid part. The median household income of Indians is $123,700 compared to the national average of $63,992. Meaning that the median basically says 50% of the people make above this, 50% of the people make below this. So 50% of Indians that are here in the United States right now make either $123,000, either $123,000 or more. Half, anywhere from 50% of Indians here in the United States make $123,000 compared to the national average of Americans of natural born Americans here making $63,000 a year. That's crazy. That's crazy statistics. That's a well-paid statistics. But let's go even somewhere else, right? What's one of the things that the Republican Party has been big on? Immigration. Particularly illegal immigration. They're like, hey, we have a visa process. You need to go and get you a visa. You need to get you your green card so that you can come here. We don't mind immigrants, but we have a problem with illegal immigration. Did you know that Indians make up 72.6% of H-1B visas? Now, for those of you that don't know, the H-1B visa is for specialty occupations. Specialty occupations, usually people who are in technology, people who are in high technology fields or in specially demand skills, usually in the tech field. 72.6% of the people that have H-1B visas come from India. That should tell you something. So the currently the Republican Party is now specifically targeting Indians. Why? Because they're well educated, they're well paid, and they have specialty skills. So we're dealing with we're dealing with immigration, and we're dealing with finance. We're dealing with a wealthy demographic, meaning we're dealing with people who can be donors. We're dealing with people who are building tech companies and becoming tech titans. We're dealing with people who when they build businesses, they don't just build mom and pop businesses. They build venture scale businesses. They build unicorns. They build billion-dollar companies. That's who we're dealing with. And this is a demographic, even though they might be small, they punch above their weight because they have the money and they have the education and the money and the skills to be valuable to us in the future. So the Republican Party is looking like, the Democrats were onto something with going after the Latino and Hispanic community, or the Latinx community. They're realizing we're going to need voters. We're going to need voters. And how can we get these kinds of voters? Well, you know what? We'll allow for our borders to be porous, and we'll grant a lot of leniency to these people who are immigrating illegally into the country. The Republicans went about it a different way. We're going to go after the demographic that has the specialty skills that we need, that are going into the high-tech fields, that are going in and building tech companies, so that we can speak to their issues. So now let's go back. J.D. Vance is the anti-Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is half Jamaican, half Indian, right? And Biden said, you know what? I need a twofer. I need to go after black people. I need to go after black women, and I need to go after the Indian community. The Indian community was happy to embrace Kamala Harris as, hey, she's Indian, she's South Asian, and she's one of us, and she's going to represent us. Democrats was like, yep, we got him. The Republicans said, nah, we ain't going out like that. We going after him. We going after him. They said, you know what? We want people who have skills. We want people who are going to bring value to the party. Who best to go after? Indians. Remember, Vivek Ramaswamy is Indian. And I actually liked Vivek as a candidate. But once again, they said, you know what? Vivek was doing numbers. He was doing numbers when he was running against Trump, and he was always supportive of Trump. But we can't put somebody like Vivek in. We're not like the Democrats where we can take risks like that and put in somebody that's totally new. We can't put in just a immediately diverse candidate. We can't do that. So instead of getting Vivek Ramaswamy to be the vice president candidate, they went after the maybe the next best thing, and they went after J.D. Vance, who's married to an Indian woman. So we see now why there was this pivot and this shift to targeting and marketing to Indians from the Republican Party. Republicans are known for big business and looking out for business interests. The one thing that they didn't have was a connection to tech. Now they have a connection to immigrants, to an immigrant population that's highly skilled and highly educated. And now they also have access to big tech. The Republicans were playing chess this particular election season. So J.D. Vance is the anti-Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was a half Jamaican, half Indian woman. J.D. Vance is a full-bred, red-blooded white American with an Indian wife who both graduated from Yale. But most importantly, JD Vance is no slouch himself. He's a lawyer, graduated from Yale Law School. But JD Vance is the big tech conservative candidate. JD Vance is the big tech conservative candidate, meaning the Republicans and conservatives usually didn't have a connection with big tech. Guess who has a connection with big tech? JD Vance. Why? Because JD Vance used to work in venture capital. JD Vance used to work in venture capital, and that's where most tech companies come out of. Venture capital makes investments into tech companies, into startups. JD Vance has connections to the big tech community. So people are like, well, Trump decided to pick JD Vance. That wasn't Trump's decision. That wasn't Trump's decision. That was Trump may have signed off on it, but trust me, he was voluntold. President Trump was voluntold, or there was a negotiation between President Trump and the Republican National Convention about who his vice president was going to be. And the Republican establishment said, hey, this is who you need to have as your vice president. DJ $50 Bill said, do they get the big picture? They get the big picture. I can tell you. They're getting the big picture. I can tell you they're getting the big picture. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, JD Vance is the conservative big tech candidate, meaning that the RNC said, this is the guy that we want. We need to appeal to the Indian community, and we need to appeal to the immigrant community. But we want to appeal to an immigrant community that we feel we can leverage their skills and leverage their networks. Pogus718 said, I can see that Trump is going to be the Bitcoin convention in Tennessee, and Bitcoin is considered tech. There we go. I forgot about him even endorsing that. Trump being in NFTs and Bitcoin. So I just know that all of this is very strategic, and they're going about it in an authentic way. They're not pandering. That's the great part about it. They're not pandering. They're saying, look, we're going to do this specifically, and we're going to go about it in a way that, hey, this is a negotiation. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, unlike what the Democrats do. The Democrats say, oh, we'll just put you in place, but we won't really give you any real power. Why? Because we really don't have any need for you except for you to vote. But let me get back to JD Vance. JD Vance worked in Peter Thiel's venture capital firm called Mithril Capital, right? Who is Peter Thiel? Peter Thiel is connected to Elon Musk. Elon Musk and Peter Thiel created PayPal. Big tech money. He was a principal at Peter Thiel's firm, Mithril Capital. In 2017, he was part of Revolution LLC, which was an investment firm. In 2019, he was a co-founder of Nerea Capital, which was backed by Peter Thiel, Eric Schmidt, and Mark Andreessen. Big names in tech. Eric Schmidt, if I'm not mistaken, was from Google. Let me see. Let me make sure. Yep. He was the CEO of Google. That's my point. Vance on a few businesses too. Don't know what kind. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But being in venture capital, he was helping start businesses. But most importantly, he raised $93 million as part of Nerea Capital. Or Nerea Capital. You know what else he did? He invested in Rumble. You know that streaming that streaming site for quote unquote conservatives or the right wing. JD Vance has connections to big tech money. And now this is the scary part about it. We used to look at a lot of times technology companies usually swayed more to the left. We're more liberal. We're more supportive of the Democratic Party. But now The conservatives are now connecting with big tech. And it's one thing to have big money in politics, it's a whole nother animal. A whole nother animal to have big tech in politics. Remember the thing called Cambridge Analytica, where they were utilizing Facebook to do targeted ads? Bonaparte said big tech wants those tax breaks. They definitely want those tax breaks. But even, you know what does big tech even more better than tax breaks? Removing regulation. Removing regulation. Big tech will take will take removing regulation over a tax break any day. Any day. Allow me to build cool stuff without the government being in my way. Oh man, me love you long time. Me tech you long time. This, when we look at politics, you have to look at it from power and money. Bamboo Bruce said the control of information. He who controls the data, he who controls the data, it becomes very, very powerful. So big money got into politics because they saw, look, we can get tax breaks. Big tech is getting into politics. He's like, hey man, we can get rid of some of this regulation. We got some of this. We got more freedom. We got more freedom. Scary times, exciting times. Scary time, exciting times. All right, but I've got said what I needed to say. I'm gonna talk about. There's still the I got to do another video on RNC and them going after unions and labor and being more open to them, and then I have to do another one on Biden, possibly dropping out and Kamala Harris being the nominee. I hope that she's not. And not because I don't necessarily like Kamala, but she's a black woman and she shouldn't have. The Democrats don't have a path forward to win. They don't, and it should not be. A loss should not be on Kamala Harris. Shouldn't be on her, because Biden had every opportunity to drop out before this. Every opportunity to drop out before this. Every opportunity. Who are you supposed to be? Who am I supposed to be? I'm supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, but I'm Dr. Jamar Montgomery of drjamarmontgomery.com, here to make you a more informed and involved citizen so that you understand politics, you understand your government, and you understand what's going on. I don't think Kamala Harris should be the nominee. And why they don't have a face? I don't think Kamala Harris should be the nominee. I don't think that she should carry I don't think that she should carry on the burden of the Democratic Party when they had every chance to pick somebody way before this. They thought that, oh well, we're going to convict Trump. We're going to convict Trump, and the American people will never vote for a quote unquote felon or vote for a criminal. Yes, the American people will. The American people will vote for somebody that they feel is capable of doing the job. And really, what I think really set it off was the fact of how much of a gangster not even gangster, how much of a G President Trump was when they took a shot at him. Like, he got shot and he got up talking about fight. Like, that's going to go down in history. That is going to go down in history. Both of them around the same age, both of them in their 80s. One looks like he doesn't know what day it is, and the other one took a shot to the head, dropped down, got back up, and is still kicking. Pogus718 said, donors already saying they will not donate to Kamala. See, there we go. Oh man, user G Williams, he called me a coon. That's funny. Can I bring people up on my live? Let's see. If you want to come up, if you want to come up, you guys are welcome to come up. Let's see, guess. All right, let's see. Who wants to come up? Uh SB Zara said the ICJ will have Genocide Joe in cuffs as well. Don't worry. I actually have a song called Genocide Joe. I'm gonna let y'all hear it real quick. You guys are gonna be like, "What? He makes music too?" Yes, I sure do. Let me pull it up for y'all real quick. You guys are like, "What? He does music too?" Larry Turner Basketball said, great information. Appreciate you, brother. Here we go. Let's go.
Genocide Joe, go to sleep, ho. Genocide Joe, go to sleep, ho. Genocide Joe, go to sleep, ho. Genocide Joe, you ain't got no soul.
Sleepy Joe Biden said you ain't black if you don't vote for him. Sleepy Joe Biden said you ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden. Inflation smack your ass like it's Debo. Gas prices through the roof, yeah, you did it, Joe. Recession's on the brink and I can't buy a home. Censorship rising,
Truth is getting told. Free speech under fire, our rights are being sold.
The First Amendment.
The lesser of two evils, yeah, we go and vote. For the author of the crime bill
the 94. Mr. Mass incarceration's on the rise, Joe. Bamboo Brew said stick to commentary. Hey man, I'm gonna do it all.
Still locked up from 1994. 1990. Oh, that's 30 years ago. Crime Bill Joe, Genocide Joe.
Crime Bill Joe, Genocide Joe.
Joe is uninvited from the cookout until he makes good on campaign promises. And anyone who sneaks him a plate or votes is going to have to answer to the black community. We got billions to give Israel and Ukraine, but no money for reparations.
It's your world, player. Got to, man. Got to. That's the thing. A lot of us are too afraid to think differently and to step out on faith and to really go out and use our voice. And why do I say that? Because I was one of those people. As much education, as much experience, as much that I have within me, like I wasn't utilizing my gifts, and now I'm speaking out. I'm making sure to speak out. It will be Gavin. He bought homes in Marion for his daughter to finish high school. Interesting. Larry Turner Basketball said, "What do you think of the energy sector moving forward?" What do you mean? Help me understand your question. And let's see. Larry Turner, I'm gonna answer that question in a minute. I'm going to go to DJ $50 Bill. What's up? Let's see about getting them on. What's going on? Let's see. Let's try this.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's going on, brother?
You got it, brother. What's up, brother? Dr. Jamar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just passing through. I'm DJ $50 Bill out of Georgia.
What's going on?
Yeah, you caught my attention. I said, well, let me, normally I say your world. I'm the
Dollar Bill. All of a sudden you went mute on me, brother. Uh-oh. Well, I guess he went mute on me. Well, when your connection gets better, then I'll bring you back on, brother. All right, let's see. Anybody else want to come up? Bobby AR said it will be Gavin. He brought home. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think that it'll be Gavin. And the reason why I don't think that it'll be Gavin is because, Gavin, they're saving Gavin for 2028, but who knows? Larry Turner, help me understand your question, brother. Help me understand your question. I'm here to answer questions now. This is the question It's the question and answer part of the broadcast. Uh let's see. Who Gavin Newsom? Bamboo Brews. Gavin Newsom is the governor of California. They did a debate between Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis some months back to see how he's going to poll. Another fun fact: Gavin Newsom is the nephew-in-law of Nancy Pelosi. It's just interesting how all these people in politics are related. So and so's cousin, and this, that, and the third. But yeah, Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom. What other questions y'all got? And thank you everyone for the likes. Keep hitting me with the likes. Keep sharing the live. If the information has been good for you, please continue to share. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. Bamboo Bruce said, no, I know who he is. I was asking about his possible POTUS run. I don't know what happened. Everything blacked out, but I'm back on. Okay. Let's see, Dollar Bill. We're going to see about bringing you back on. But Bamboo Brews, what are you saying? I don't know. I was talking about POTUS run. Yeah, they're going to try it with him. But let's see. Dollar Bill.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can.
I don't know what happened. Everything, this stuff is crazy with our technology we got nowadays.
Absolutely. What's going on, man? What's your question?
Oh, nothing. I just was passing through and hit the brakes. I said, let me see what Dr. Jamar talking about. So what's your topic for tonight?
My topic for this evening was I was talking about the RNC's pivot to South Asia. And what I'll make sure to do is I'll go ahead and upload this onto my TikTok so everybody else can see.
Okay, yeah, it's I'm learning a lot with TikTok, because you're not gonna get it through mainstream. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm learning about the indigenous black people and a whole lot of stuff.
Absolutely. I'm an autochthonous American African.
There you go.
Autochthonous means, for everybody that doesn't know, autochthonous means born here on the continent. So what kind of African am I? I am an American African. Why? Because I was born in America, but I have African roots. So that's the kind of African I am. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you follow the other brothers, Earth and all them?
No, I don't.
You need to check them out, Earth, and Now You Know the Truth. And it's a few of them on the platforms. They're pretty cool. They take you all the way back. They go out and do the work, man, and get the history.
Will do. Well, I appreciate you, Brother Dollar Bill, for joining the live.
Yeah, that name, I'm a DJ, old school DJ, man. I've been a DJ for 50-something years.
Absolutely.
So I'm from Chi-Town by way of Detroit, retired in Arizona.
Absolutely.
You can catch me live sometime on Sundays, every Sunday at 6 p.m. on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, most def. I'll check you out. Y'all heard it.
That music thing too. I got a song screaming on the platform, YouTube, Facebook. YouTube and Amazon.
Most def. Well, everybody, y'all go check out DJ $50 Bill.
Yeah, I'm gonna check you out though. So how often are you gonna be on the platform?
I'm probably gonna be on the platform at least once a week, maybe even twice or 3 times a week. I'm making it a point to go live often. But I appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and answer other people's questions.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. Nice talking with you, brother.
Likewise.
All right, take care.
Always glad when I got people coming in. Larry Turner said, with the Trump VP pick, I heard he supports energy and a lot of businesses are happy with that. Drill, baby, drill, as President Trump said the other night during his address. Drill, baby, drill. The sad part about it is I think that I'm going to get to you, Bamboo Bros. I'm going to get to you. You're absolutely right. I'll keep you on. Republicans only focus on oil. The crazy part is they talk about the Green New Deal and have issues with that, but bet money they're going to get into renewable energy because it's going to be $1 trillion market. Everybody is going to be getting into green energy. Why? Because of rare earth minerals and things like lithium, which is expensive. And lithium is what is in every electronic device that has a battery. Any electronic device, your laptop has lithium in it, your cell phone has lithium in it, your iPad has lithium in it. Like everything has lithium in it. But we, the United States, because we have an uncommon loyalty to oil, big oil, in Saudi Arabia, did everything in our power to stay away from wind power, stay away from solar power, hydropower, and geothermal power. My toot has lithium in it. That's funny. Your car, the Tesla's got lithium in it. One of the things that I was trying to push, one of the things I was pushing when I was running for office in Louisiana, when I ran for U.S. Senate in Louisiana, was hydroelectricity. With the mighty Mississippi that we have, we could be utilizing hydroelectricity by utilizing just the waves and the movement of the river to be able to power our cities, be able to power data centers and things like that. We could utilize geothermal and definitely wind power. With as much wind be coming through and hurricanes be coming through in Louisiana, wind power, utilizing wind power. All that land out there, we could be having solar power. But once again, if you don't have a vision, or you have corruption, or you have once again, powerful business interests that do not want to share. And that's the crazy part about it, is that if you've gotten good in one particular business and you are unwilling to pivot, the only other option that you have is to prevent any competitors. And that's what's been going on in America for so long, is that they do not want to innovate, and so that they will kill competitors. Which doesn't help the American people. It hurts the American people and puts us last in technology. We're falling behind to China. So guess what we have to do as Americans? We have to look to countries like India, who invested heavily in the education and in tech education, and then import those people to help build out our infrastructure and build out our technology, instead of educating the people that were already here. Madness. What other questions y'all got? I'm great. I'm great. I'm glad at all the questions that you guys are asking. I'm loving all the questions that y'all are asking. Bamboo Bruce said the invisible monopoly. Absolutely. An invisible monopoly. And in some cases, it's a duopoly. Like, for instance, with our political system, it's a duopoly. It's the Democrats and the Republicans. And the Democrats and Republicans, as much as they say they fight against each other, they'll do everything in their power to prevent an independent candidate like RFK. So, interesting times that we live in. Keep the questions coming. I'm thankful for all the questions that I'm getting. Let me go through and see what else I have. Not Africa, but Alkebulan. I'm an Alkebulani. I'm an American Alkebulani. For those that you don't know, Africa got its name Africa because of the Roman general Africanus. And they named it after him, but Africa's original name was Alkebulan, the land of the spirit people. Let's see. What else do we have? Yep. Like I said, I'm Dr. Jamar Montgomery. I could teach on anything. I almost teach on almost anything, almost everything. But yeah, what other question, Larry Turner? I hope I answered your question when it came to um, energy. Um, they want to drill because um, our relationship with Saudi Arabia is not that it's bad, but Saudi Arabia is recognizing the amount of power that they have, and they're like, well, the United States, if you're not going to do it, then we're going to go to we're going to go to other people, and we're no longer going to have our dollars denominated in. We're no longer going to have our oil denominated in dollars. What that means is that in order to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, you had to get U.S. dollars. So if you're a foreign country, you have to do business with America in some way, shape, form, or fashion in order to get U.S. dollars, and then use those over in Saudi Arabia to get the oil. Saudi Arabia said, "We got to fight against Iran. So United States, can you give us can you give us nuclear weapons? Can you allow us to have nuclear weapons?" United States is like, "Nah, I'll give you some F-15s, but I can't give you nuclear weapons." And like, well, we can get nuclear weapons from somebody else. So yeah, great questions, y'all. Great questions. Larry Turner, thank you. I'm glad that that answered your question. Said Bamboo Bruce said, and that's why they assassinated Gaddafi. Oh man, that's a whole nother bag of worms. It's a whole nother bag of worms. Whole nother bag of worms. I look greasy right now. There we go. There we go. So yeah, what other questions we got? What other questions we got? The U.S. dollar, absolutely. You like my shirt? It says the office of Dr. Jamar Montgomery, strike team for justice. And on the eagle, normally the eagle has arrows and a olive branch, but mine has broken chains in its talons, and then it's got 6 stars. But yeah, any other questions? Any other questions? Any other comments? I'm glad to hear from everybody. I'm still laughing at somebody calling me a coon. That's funny. That's funny. I've been called worse by better people. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining. So, over the next few days, I'm going to be talking about President Biden, and I'm going to get into the RNC with union and labor because that's very interesting. I haven't heard anybody really talking about that. My goal is to be on the Patrick Bet David podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast, Candace Owens podcast, the Breakfast Club, and a few others, and a few others, but those right there. So who Bamboo Bruce says? So who do you think should get the Democratic nomination? Who do I? I really don't care about the Democrats. Tell you the truth. Like in the last election, I voted for Kanye. I voted for Kanye, and it's crazy because people be thinking like I'm a big Trumper, and I'm really not. I voted for Kanye in the last election, only to end up having dinner with Kanye and Donald Trump. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, that was me. That was me. That was me. There was an article about me. They always talked about Nick Fuentes, but they didn't talk about me. Who do I think should get the Democratic nomination? I really don't think it matters at this point. If it's going to be anybody that's going to be a fall guy, it should be. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be somebody losing. Ames Shapiro said most brothers are Dems. Yeah, I'm not. I'm an independent. And when I ran for U.S. Senate in 2020, I ran as an independent. I ran as an independent. Um, who? I don't care. I mean, they got plenty to pick from. They got, of course, Kamala. They got Gavin Newsom. They got Pete Buttigieg. But Biden told us that Biden said, "I am the Democratic Party." And so you the Democratic Party, so you old and burnt out, and you didn't bring up anyone behind you. Yeah, yeah. Who? I really. Yeah, Democrats lost this one. But I had said this back when I was in Davos that President Trump was going to win. So, who do you like that's a Democrat that you think should get the nomination? Because it's not just about people who you like; it's about who the donors are going to support. That's the big thing about who the donors are going to support. Cardi B. Funny part about it is that the Democrats would rather reach out to Cardi B and the rappers than they would the actual intellectuals and people doing the work. Um, so why do I think independents have such a hard time getting established? Money, money, money. Point blank. The you don't realize how much power, how connected that the Democrats, how connected that the political parties are with the media. Um, how connected they are in the relationships that they have with the media, and the media determines who we get to see. Right? The thing about technology and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Rumble and things like that was that you didn't have to go in the mainstream media to find out about people. You could find them on these social media platforms or Twitter. But most Americans get their information through television. So if you want to reach mainstream America, you got to go through television. But the Republicans and the Democrats have such a hold on the media, you wouldn't imagine. It's a working relationship. It's a working relationship that they have between them. The Democrats and Republicans need the media to get their message out, and the media needs controversy in order to get people's attention. I think Pete Buttigieg would be a good choice. That's cool. He ain't got the juice though. That's the only thing. He ain't got the juice. Well, him and his husband wouldn't work. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, but once again, people say that independents can't win, and the only reason why independents don't win is because people don't vote. People don't research their candidates. They don't know who all is running. They don't research policies. They just go off of what they see on the news, and that's it. You wouldn't know that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was running for president. You wouldn't know that Cornel West is running for president. You wouldn't know those things. Ames Shapiro said, I nominate Whoopi Goldberg, Joan Rivers. Like I said, nobody would have thought Trump would have won. I won money off that election. I was happy. I knew that Donald Trump was going to win in 2016. I knew he was going to win in 2024. But yeah. Yeah, y'all not showing me as much love on this live as y'all normally do. It's all good. I had 1.7 last live I did, and now I got 396. I'm thankful for all of them. I appreciate that. Anyone that is not 80 years old, I'm with you on that. But once again, if people were like, I'm gonna take a Joe Biden, you gonna take Paul Ball? Bruh. Maybe Obama. Can't do Obama. And I can tell you guys, everybody talks about Michelle. Michelle has no interest in running. Michelle has no interest in running, and you'd be surprised, like how finicky people act when it's on the line. People would much rather take an L than they would take a risk. That's crazy. That's human nature. People would much rather take an L than take a risk. Mm. It's a quotable right there. When talking about elections, your feed gets suppressed. Yep. Or they kick people out the live, or you just got haters in the live because somebody tried to report me earlier on my last live. A safe L versus an unsure risk. You're absolutely right, B Miller. Absolutely right. A safe L versus an unsure risk. Well, they think that the L is safer. That's the thing. They think that the L is safer. I get it, but once again, the Democrats brought this on themselves. Democrats brought them on themselves. Did on themselves. So, and they have no one to thank. They have no one. They have everyone. The only person that they can blame is Joe Biden. Uh, they thought that he was going to be able to make it to the next election, and nope, and have him resign while he's in office, or be incapacitated while in office, and Kamala Harris take over, and then that way she can run the country as president, and then it makes it a whole lot easier for her to become president in the next election. Breaking Sheila Jackson. What about Hakeem Jeffries? Ah, all of them are all of them are there. All of them are there. Once again, I don't care about none of them. Beautifully Day said, yes, what you're saying is the truth. Absolutely. 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 But yeah, um, really don't care about Democrats. Don't really. Here's the reason why I don't like Joe Biden. Here's the reason why I do not like Joe Biden. Joe Biden has been in political office and political power for over almost 50 years. For 50 years. And he called black children super predators. He helped with the 1994 crime bill, which also helped implement the assault weapons ban. Um, he worked with the Congressional Black Caucus on getting 3 strikes. Like, just all of that, just he helped mass incarceration get to the point where it's at now, and has done very little to rectify it. Like I said in my song, we got billions to give Israel and Ukraine, but no money for reparations. Yeah, I'm not a Joe Biden fan. Never have been. Never have been. But crazy thing is, it's another president I've been around. I was in Japan during his press conference. 25, 30 feet from the president. Biden is definitely the weakest link. Him and Kamala, not a fan of either one. Yeah, they could have made better choices. Could have made better choices. But what happens? Um, they took the black vote for granted. They took the black vote. They took the black vote and black folk for granted, and didn't give us anything for our vote. Then you got folks like Roland Martin, who's um, always hooping, hollering, and crying. You got Van Jones, right? You got folks like that who stand to benefit from the Democrats being in power. And black folks is like, I'm out here thugging it and making it on my own, regardless of who's in office. Did Biden remember his words when you saw him? Yes, he did. He was coherent then, but it's crazy what a year does. It's crazy what a year does at that age. It's crazy what can happen in a year. Significant mental and cognitive decline. And the only thing that's keeping him there is ego and hubris. So who is standing? Bamboo Bruce asking. So who is standing up for us? We got to stand up for us. Point blank. Period. We keep expecting a political candidate to do it, and it'd be nice if a political candidate did it. It would be nice if we, if a political candidate would support us, but we have to really start investing our own money in our own schools, in our own families, in our own banks, in our own stores. Like, we have to do that. We have to do that. But that's the great part about America, is that black folks, as bad of a situation as they're in, as bad of a situation as we say that we're in, we don't move with a sense of urgency and importance as if we are. Beautifully Day said they have the preachers falling from grace, supporting their foolishness. So let's keep it. Shapiro said, "Let's keep it real. Our people didn't vote Republican in 2020. Not a lot of people vote. The crazy part is more black people didn't vote than actually did vote. So what does that tell you? Not informed, not involved. Shame, 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 shame. Shame on us." And we go out to our politicians with our hands out like, "Hey, help me, give me something." And politicians looking at you like, "Did you donate to my campaign at all?" We're like, "No." "Did you even vote?" "No." "Did you go to a city council meeting or anything?" "No." "But you want me to do something you didn't even do? Like, you didn't even do something for yourself." My people, my people, my people. My people, my people. Since we have nothing to gain here in America, why don't we leave? Oh, we have plenty to gain here in America. We have plenty. We have plenty to gain. Don't ever get that twisted. Don't ever get that twisted. There's a reason why people want to come to America. Them folks ain't crazy. Them folks is not crazy. There's a reason why they want to come to America. We as black Americans or American Africans, we got it messed up because we don't take advantage of what's here. We don't take advantage of what's here. We're a bunch of unhealed people with an inferiority complex about our gifts and our talents. And it doesn't matter where we go. It doesn't matter where we go. If we have that inferiority complex, if we don't believe in ourselves, if we don't take responsibility for our lives and for our actions, ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. If we don't see that we need to work together, we don't see ourselves as a community. Like, it's one of the things that I really admire about my Jewish brothers and sisters is that, like, they stick together. They fund their own, they educate their own, they live in their own communities. They have a system of ethics and morals. So, y'all don't mind me. I'm over here polishing up my watch. I actually need to build one more today or tonight. I got a fly one that I've been meaning to build. This is my favorite. J. Montgomery watches. But if the political system, economic system, justice system is against us, how can we win? We can win through finance. We can win through finance. I ain't saying that it's easy, and I ain't saying that it's fair. But we got to keep fighting. And we get tired. Which one are you going to be? You can either be tired and make possibility of success, or you can give up and defeat is guaranteed. That's literally where we're at. Like, and that's something that I like, even in my own life, that I have to contend with. Like, which one is it? Like, you either gonna keep fighting and you give yourself a chance to succeed, or you stop fighting and you guarantee defeat. Should black people have to fight? No. Our ancestors, and our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents have sacrificed and given so much, but just what it is. It's just what it is. This is the thing about it. For people who have worked so hard, that work ethic should be within us. And if our ancestors could work that hard and we could be at the point where we're at, imagine if we're now literally the freest that we've ever been. Imagine if we believed in ourselves and was ruthless about our success and ruthless about protecting our own, like not caring what anybody else has to say or what anybody else has to think, but only caring about what we think and what our goals are and what we want to accomplish. It's how powerful and impactful that would be for ourselves and for our children, for our families. So we may need a strong black independent candidate who has our interests in mind. Can't have a strong independent candidate if you don't have strong independent donors. Everybody says that they want change until it's time to pay some change. Everybody wants change until it's time to pay some change. I'm writing that down. We did, but he helped the LGBT. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. And I was talking with some of my colleagues from the faith community, and they were like, this particular um, administration, the Biden administration, like the faith community was coming to the Biden administration like, hey, we need funding and we want to do this and we want to get more involved. And they didn't really take them seriously. They really didn't. They were like, okay, that's a good idea, but they definitely catered to the LGBT community. And not that I have anything against the LGBT community, but there's black folks been having issues in this country for forever. The faith community has been having issues in this country. Where do most black people go to church? The black faith community could have utilized that help. But that's a discussion for another one. Are you saying ours as individuals or ours as a community of black people? I don't understand your question, and maybe that's because I was already going on before while you wrote that. Obama presented himself like he was one of us, but is not. Obama did some great things. He did some good things. But once again, Obama was not put in the presidency for black people. Obama was put in the presidency so that he could secure the black vote to carry out to carry out the agenda of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party knew that they would embolden and inspire the black vote and black people by putting a black man as president. So they knew that the only way that they would be able to do it was if they had a black man as the presidency, and they knew that black folks was going to defend Obama no matter what. Best thing about Obama was his anger translator, Key and Peele. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's definitely iconic. That's definitely iconic. Shout out to Bamboo Brews and Aim Shapiro for the questions. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for all the engagement and for remaining engaged. I appreciate that. That it makes the conversations that much more lively and that much more fruitful and helpful to everyone. So I really appreciate y'all. If you aren't following me and you enjoy what you've been hearing, you should follow me. Also, you should visit my website, www.drjamarmontgomery.com. That's Dr. Dr. Jamar, Jamar, last name Montgomery, Montgomery.com. The others been here just watching. I know, they just watching. They just watching what they watching self. That's it. That's the problem. That's what happens. Only a few get involved, everybody else just watching. And the people who are involved, they get to direct where things go. Just think about how you guys have been engaging with me, and that's been directing the conversation. I already had what I wanted to talk about, but because y'all was involved, now I'm able to navigate, and you guys had a part to play in that. Yep. Then they critique the live later, of course. But that I'm glad that they watching regardless. But yeah, I hope that's been helpful to everyone. This has been great. Um, I'm getting ready to go ahead and sign off. But Aim Shapiro and Bamboo Brew, I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the follow. You guys should, if you're on Instagram or if you're on TikTok, you should follow me. I'll be going live more often. Make sure that you turn your notifications on for me. If you're on YouTube, you should subscribe, like and subscribe and share. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great evening. Great evening. Enjoy your weekend. I'm dang crazy. I'm speaking tomorrow. So I'm speaking at the Tech Wealth and Innovation Summit tomorrow at the University of Washington. So yeah, great things, great and big things are gone. But y'all have a great night. Y'all take care.